when the hip hop generation leverages its resources for today's generation, when the culture is old as a grown man, that's when you already know hip hop grew up.
Mm.
Once again, got a good friend with us today.
Mm.
Brother, I was making music with in my 20s, and now he's opening multiple businesses, and I got a classic Texas soulful hip hop group on my hands in the same room together tonight.
Wow.
Tre Scipio, Mojoe Family.
Yes,
How you doing,
sir.
man?
I'm great, man. What's happening?
I'm good. I got you and Easy here, and you know I like to ask funny questions.
Hey, let's do it.
I got one for you. Easy, you heard it last time when we were talking, man.
Yeah.
So take this question. Do what you will with it, all right?
Yeah.
All right. So what do Black Thought, or let's say the Roots, what do the Roots, Gary Clark Jr., Janelle Monáe, and Jay Electronica all have in common?
That's pretty, great question.
Thank you.
You asked me at the end of our Black Thought conversation, and we said we would come back to it. True to your word, you have come back to it.
I'll let y'all chew on that.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I want to say having this music conversation with my brother is excited. You know what I'm saying? Like Mojoe on here, Bavu Blakes, anybody who knows that's a very serious vibe time in Texas music history, man. So I'm glad to have y'all in here. And I think this is the perfect crew to talk about this because I think you're referring to artists that don't necessarily sell a whole lot, but when they release, there's attention, or there's never, at least so far, there hasn't been a problem with them having a platform to release. I mean, that's the thing. When you're an artist, finding a way to get your art out is always one of the biggest issues. And the artists you name seem to always have a platform to express themselves. So that's how I'm gonna start this off. That's what I think you're getting at.
Yeah.
Anything to add to that, Tre?
Definitely an interesting group that you chose to speak about. You know, Gary Clark Jr. and Janelle Monáe, etc. I think we were in that pot at one time. But I think in time, you know, I was talking to Easy a little bit earlier today. Those type of artists are kind of compared to, you know, fine wine now, right? Mm-hmm. So, you know, I think they continue to keep recording due to, you know, labels or whomever, you know, is putting the music out. Just kind of want to have this stock of, you know, 2010 cab. You know what I'm saying? In the art, from an artist's perspective, I think I think in time, I think it's recession proof in regards to classic music and, you know, just in time in general. So yeah, that's what I look at with these cats.
Yeah, but you know, they're also major label artists, right?
Yes.
And when you think about major labels, you think about the typical scenario is you got to make us some money or you got to go.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so you think about a certain amount of units, a certain prestige of your album.
Mm-hmm.
You know, your album selling a certain number for us. It's like being on a sales team. Like you either bring in the numbers or, you know, you kind of move around. You work on commission almost, right?
Yeah.
So why do you think major labels retain, and I'm naming artists that off the top we know are dope, right? We know these are signature artists. We know these artists are ridiculous with their gift. But when we think about that label paradigm, we always think about you got to sell to prevail, or you got to get somewhere. So why do you think a profit maximizing corporation would hold on to these folks? What's the difference there in your mind, fellas?
Going back to the art, I think, you know, like a Van Gogh piece is worth way more now than it was, you know, when he created, you know, that art. I kind of think in comparison to that, that's how I'm looking at it. I need more words to express that, but it's kind of along that vein as where art is, these labels know that eventually this will be a fine art piece. That's what I believe. And to have that published into, have the publishing and have just to be a part of some projects like that, I think that's what it is,
That's totally what it is, man. It's like you could throw D'Angelo in there too. If you have these artists, you said a keyword, you said signature. Vu, and then Tre said fine wine. So like what it is you have, I feel like the labels are not making any move that they feel like in the long run they're gonna lose on.
Right.
It's about the long win or the short win. And for some artists, they look at them and they feel like they need to get all the money they can get out of them right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, maximize it. I'm gonna put you with the hottest producer. I'm gonna tell you who's gonna write your songs. I'm gonna tell you who's shooting your video. And then you got other artists who get the license to produce their own stuff, write their own stuff, pick their director. Rather the song sells or charts or anything, they just keep getting this license because someone at a label has decided that their art will appreciate.
Yeah, that's exactly.
I agree. At some point, there will be a mass number of people who would circle back to what you're doing, and we want to be in on it. I would tell you what will surprise me and impress me. If any artist that we named or any artists like these artists you named own most of their publishing. These are the kind of artists that's not going to ever own most of their publishing because they're working on an appreciation scale.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's deep.
That's it.
Because you talk about appreciation.
Yeah.
But then you talk about it may be less likely that they own the publishing.
Yeah.
Or let alone the master, huh?
Exactly.
That's it. Yeah.
The label be like, oh, D'Angelo been gone for 14 years. Oh, he ready? Give me the masters. You see what I'm saying? It's 30 years, 40 years from now, you're going to have a whole crew of young people talking about that's the greatest thing they ever discovered in their life.
Exactly.
And like Jimi Hendrix or Marvin Gaye, it's through the roof. You know what I mean?
Forward thinking, man. Forward thinking. That's exactly what that is. That's business.
Is it? Should we consider it more rare that it's Black artists we're talking about?
Consider what more rare?
Yeah, in regards to
that you would have the longevity and be appreciated that way in a mainstream look.
Wow, makes sense to me.
And I don't. That's a genuine question there.
Yeah.
I'm trying to understand what you're asking me though. So in other words,
I know what he's saying.
What's he saying?
I'm thinking about industry rule number 4080, and I'm just thinking about kind of the view of corporate or big institutions or major sectors within our society and how they've treated Black folks historically, politically, socially for the longest time. And does that make it even more miraculous, that they're still artists, when music makes less money than ever, they're still artists.
Still art. They're still art. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I feel like when it comes to art, when it comes to certain aspects of society, we've always been marginalized. But when it comes to art, man, even if it wasn't credited right, even if it wasn't financed correctly, there's always been a respect for the Black artist, the long game of a Black artist, man. Even if it was being stolen.
Well said.
Yeah.
Well said. So they know somewhere along the lines they're gonna get a true jewel out of it.
That's it.
Well, you always find a way to work it in, man.
He do, man. He do. He's the master at that, for sure.
20 years from now, they bumping it. And then that value comes around after the fact.
Yeah.
That's the true jewel. That's the true jewel. To
That's
be honest with you, man, when we signed our deal with Matthew Knowles, the deal was we actually kept our publishing, but he owned the masters to that particular album for 17 years.
Wow.
So, there's some belief that, some vinyl reissue, some movement might profit that company. You know what I'm saying? But that's how they do it though, man.
Yeah. Exactly how they do it. I'm glad we kept our publishing though.
Yeah, we still get those checks.
Still getting them. So that was a good thing.
Yeah, man. Yeah. What you think, Boo?
Well, one part of my mind is thinking about publishing on one song on that album and where that went.
What happened was they put Third Coast Anthem in a movie. That's
all it was. It was a movie thing, man. It wasn't the any radio play, anything, man. You don't see nothing from that, man. It was it was the movie thing.
Yep.
Third Coast Anthem. Okay. And the rest of me is I guess also thinking just about that word jumped out to me, appreciation, you know. And my wife keeps quoting this one line she heard from a pastor somewhere in the past month or so, where he was saying during these times, everybody's in the same storm, but everybody's not in the same boat. And that just keeps playing in my head. You know, what's going on right now, this current reality we're in, everybody's in the same storm, but everybody ain't in the same boat, you know. And how it's basically just an honor and a pleasure that, you know, I still have direct deposit. You know, I still work. I'm still in the house and able to facilitate a conversation with y'all, even though I can't go nowhere. I can still connect with people that are really important to me.
Sure.
Yeah. That's power. That's a word right there. That's a good word right there.
Yeah. This conversation, this relationship, you know, I linked with y'all nearly 20 years ago.
That's crazy.
20 years later, 20 years from now.
Yeah.
Still appreciating it, still getting value out of it. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at.
True.
Yeah.
That's real,
you, Trey?
And in regards to
what's on your mind?
Really digging this conversation. Loving what's going on. This platform, I think, is definitely going to be something that the world definitely needs, and to have these intellectual conversations in hip hop. You know, great question. You know what I'm saying? If we have more of these questions, you know, and challenging us to really think about what's going on, that just keeps us just aware of what, you know, what the industry is, and not just the industry, our culture, man, in general, man. So I think it's great. I'm happy as hell to hook up with my brothers for sure. And I'm just here. I'm glad I'm on the platform. Let's do it again, for sure.
Yeah, I feel like you got more to say about Hip Hop Grew Up, so I hope you'll come back and share some more too.
I will, for sure. Yeah, I will.
All right, my brothers.
No doubt.
Another one of these Hip Hop Grew Up conversations in the books. We'll be back with more great combo. Yeah.
Peace.
Trey. Juju, bro.
I should have won mine, man.
You should have.
That's next time.